that they do. And then just say pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you, and thank you for coming and participating in what I hope will be an educational and very stirring conversation today, because we are certainly in some very unique times, and I think it's important that we recognize that this is not business as usual, but a time of activism. So I want to again thank my colleagues, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, and Karen Bass, for making sure that they're a part of what we're doing here today, and also thank Ms. Jamila Taylor for assisting in planning this briefing. You know, African Americans are facing mounting challenges in today's civil society, given all that we see happening with the economy is a particular bearing on the stability of the African American community. Indeed, African American women in particular are increasingly facing more severe challenges, particularly in accessing reproductive health care. Unfortunately, we find ourselves relitigating and having to yet again fight for access to comprehensive sex education, contraception, including access to abortion care as part of our reproductive rights. I've always been a pro-choice advocate, but earlier this year, an incident in New York City occurred in New York City that further strengthened my pro-choice resolve. And it was a campaign sponsored by the anti-abortion group Life Always. They placed a billboard in a Soho community showing a young African American girl with the words, "The most dangerous place for an African American is in the womb," plastered beneath the billboard. And I'm proud to say that New Yorkers rallied very quickly to address this, and after protests, very strident protests, the billboard was taken down. But the fact that they would even think that it was appropriate to place this billboard there is eye-opening. I am deeply offended by what this anti-abortion ad brought forth. As a black woman, was clear to me that this anti-abortion organization targeted the black women of New York to impose their very racist ideology upon. Through the activism of New Yorkers, we demonstrated that the pursuit of justice is much more powerful than the voice of ignorance. With the topic of abortion and access to health care for women becoming such a divisive subject in our nation, it is clear that it will be up to this generation and the next to defeat those who will stop at nothing to impose their views on others. These people have a reckless disregard for the rights of women in their pursuit to abolish a woman's right to reproductive health care and a woman's right to choose. Now more than ever, it is important that African American women sound a clarion call to fight for reproductive justice. This is why today's briefing is so very important. Once again, I want to thank all of you for coming today. And I hope that you will be fortified by this briefing, that it will strengthen your resolve to go back to your respective parts of the nation and become fervent advocates for women's right to choose, and for women's reproductive rights and women's reproductive justice. Thank you very much.